In the quiet hum of a sunlit afternoon, a story unfolds within the four walls of a perfectly ordinary house, a place where comfort and routine intertwine. This is the home of Oggy, a simple blue cat of simple pleasures whose days are typically measured in sunbeams and naps. His world, cozy and predictable, was about to be turned inside out. The adventure began not with a roar, but with a speck of dust. While engaged in the serious business of chasing a particularly fluffy dust bunny under the sofa, Oggy's paw bumped against something solid and unfamiliar. Brushing aside the lint, he uncovered a tiny, mysterious door, no bigger than his own head, set flush against the wall. It was a door he had never seen before, an anomaly in his perfectly catalogued world. A wave of feline curiosity, potent and undeniable, washed over him. Hesitantly at first, then with growing determination, Oggy nudged the small door open with his nose and slipped through the opening. The space beyond was anticlimactic, a small windowless room, utterly bare and silent. Disappointed, he turned to leave, only to find the door he had just entered was gone, replaced by a smooth, seamless wall. He blinked, a slow, deliberate cat blink of confusion. In that instant, the room shimmered and stretched, doubling in size before his very eyes. The walls receded into the distance, and with a soft pop, a giant armchair upholstered in rich velvet materialized in the center of the newly expanded space. Startled, Oggy blinked again. The room expanded once more, the ceiling soaring to an impossible height. With every flutter of his eyelids, the world around him grew, filling with fantastical and oversized objects. Towering stacks of books, their spines forming colorful skyscrapers, scraped the distant ceiling. A forest of colossal cat trees, their scratching posts like ancient redwoods, sprouted from the floor. Luminous fish bowls, each the size of a small car, began to float gently through the vast new atmosphere, their silent, swimming inhabitants casting shifting patterns of light on the floor far below. The room continued its relentless expansion, growing until it became a disorienting, endless void of stark white. The colossal furniture and fantastical objects became distant specks, lost in the sheer, overwhelming scale of the chamber. Oggy, once the master of his domain, was now a tiny blue dot adrift in an impossibly large world, a silent prisoner in an infinite cage. He tried to call out, but his most desperate meows were swallowed by the immensity, echoing back as faint, unanswered whispers. A profound sense of loneliness and dread washed over him. He was lost, overwhelmed by the sheer, crushing scale of his prison. He squeezed his eyes shut as tightly as he could, a desperate wish forming in his mind. A wish for it all to simply stop, for the world to return to a size he could understand. In the comforting darkness behind his eyelids, an image began to form. It was a picture of his own small, comfortable room, the familiar pattern of the rug, the specific slant of light from the window, the reassuring presence of his favorite nap spot. He held on to that image, focusing on every detail, every scent, every feeling of home. Tentatively, he cracked one eye open, then the other. He watched, astonished, as the infinite room began to shrink. The vast white emptiness folded in on itself, the distant objects rushing forward and diminishing until the space returned to its original, unimpressive size. And there, right in front of him, the tiny door reappeared. Without a moment's hesitation, Oggy darted through it, tumbling back into the familiar comfort of his own living room. He scrambled to his feet, his heart thumping, and gave the strange door one last knowing glance. Just as he looked, it shimmered and faded away, leaving only the plain wall behind. Oggy was home, left to ponder the incredible reality-bending power he had just discovered, a power that lay, improbably, just behind his own eyes.